If you take a map and draw a straight line from Bermuda Island to Puerto Rico, then pull it back to Florida, you'll form a triangle. The stretch of ocean inside that triangle is the site of thousands of mysterious stories told over centuries. People call it the Bermuda Triangle, a region infamous for the disappearance of over 2,000 ships and about 200 aircraft without a trace. What's remarkable is that, officially, this region doesn't even exist for the U.S. Navy. The term Bermuda Triangle isn't recognized by the U.S. Board on Geographic Names either. Even so, tales and supernatural rumors about this area are everywhere. Strange lights, inexplicable phenomena, and countless theories involving extraterrestrial intervention. But what exactly happened in these waters? Why have ships and planes vanished without leaving a single piece of wreckage? Why do navigation instruments, electronic systems, and radios suddenly stop working? What causes compasses to spin wildly and display completely wrong readings? Even today, no single explanation has ever been agreed upon for the countless strange phenomena in this notorious sea. Many people assume the mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle only appeared in modern times, but in fact, the first records of its strangeness date back hundreds of years. During his first voyage to the New World, explorer Christopher Columbus recorded in his journal that his compass began acting erratically as he approached the Bermuda area. Shortly after, he saw a ball of fire plunge into the ocean, accompanied by strange lights and completely abnormal weather patterns. These accounts show that the Bermuda Triangle's mystery is not a modern legend. It has existed since humanity first began to explore the oceans. One of the most famous incidents connected to this region occurred on the 5th of December, 1945. That day, Flight 19, a formation of 5 U.S. Navy torpedo bombers, took off from Fort Lauderdale Air Station for a routine training flight. All the aircraft were thoroughly inspected, fully equipped, and flown by experienced pilots. According to the training plan, Flight 19 was to take off from Fort Lauderdale, fly 227 kilometers east, then turn north about 117 kilometers, and return to base on a 225 kilometers southwest course, a simple exercise meant to last just a few hours. But things began to go wrong, roughly 2 hours after takeoff. The flight leader, a veteran pilot who had flown this route many times before, reported that both his main and backup compasses had stopped working. He had no idea where the squadron was. The other pilots experienced the same. Navigation systems malfunctioned, clocks went wrong, and radios became unstable. Ground control tried to contact them to determine their position, but failed. For the next 2 hours, Flight 19's signals were distorted and unclear, and no one understood what they were facing. Around 7 p.m., a weak radio signal believed to be from the flight leader was received. He informed his crew that all aircraft were out of fuel, and everyone was preparing to abandon their planes. That was the last message ever heard from Flight 19. Several radio stations managed to triangulate the squadron's approximate location somewhere north of the Bahamas and east of Florida's coast before the signal vanished completely over the southern Atlantic waters. One of the last reported statements from the commander was chilling. "Everything looks strange. Even the ocean looks different. We are entering white water." Immediately, 2 Martin Mariner rescue planes were dispatched for search operations. They had been scheduled for their own training mission but changed course to search for Flight 19, flying a square search pattern around coordinates 29 degrees N, 79 degrees W. One of them, codenamed Training 49, took off at 7:27 p.m. and sent its first radio message at 7:30, but that was also its last. The rescue aircraft and all 13 crew members vanished without a trace just minutes after takeoff. During the search, several Navy personnel reported seeing greenish glowing lights floating on the surface of the Florida coast. No one knew what they were, but the question remained. Were those lights somehow related to the disappearance of both Flight 19 and the rescue plane? Over the following years of search efforts, debris occasionally believed to be from Flight 19 was discovered, but all led to dead ends. Marine archaeologist John Myra once recovered metallic fragments off the Florida coast and suspected they belonged to a Navy Avenger aircraft. However, upon examination, no evidence linked them to Flight 19. In 1991, a recovery team discovered the wrecks of 5 Avenger planes, resting close together on the seabed off Florida at a depth of around 180 meters. At first, the discovery raised hopes that the mystery of Flight 19 had finally been solved. But when investigators checked the aircraft serial numbers, they found that none of them matched the missing squadron. This meant that despite numerous findings scattered over decades to this day, no confirmed wreckage of Flight 19 has ever been found. Very few people have survived incidents in the Bermuda Triangle to tell their stories, but one rare exception is American pilot Bruce Gernon. In 1970, while flying from the Bahamas to Florida with a business partner, he encountered a strange cloud directly ahead. As his plane approached, the cloud opened into a swirling tunnel-shaped vortex, like an empty corridor inside. Gernon said he felt as if he were being pulled into it, and just seconds later, his aircraft was suddenly thrust out of the tunnel. When Gernon tried to contact the Miami Air Traffic Control Station, they told him that his plane did not appear on radar at all. A while later, the radar finally detected his position, but strangely, he was already near the coast of Florida. At that distance, it should have taken him over an hour and a half to fly there. Yet the aircraft's clock showed only 33 minutes. It was physically impossible to explain. Gernon believed he had accidentally flown into a space-time phenomenon, like a tunnel cutting through real space. The list of ships and aircraft that disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle is so long it's almost impossible to recount. One example is the USS Cyclops, a U.S. Navy coal transport ship that vanished on the 4th of March 1918, along with 309 crew members. No distress signal, no wreckage, no trace whatsoever. 2 sister ships of the Cyclops, the USS Proteus and USS Nereus, also mysteriously disappeared in the same region. To date, the Bermuda Triangle is believed to be responsible for the vanishing of more than 50 ships and 20 aircraft in just the past century. On the 30th of October 1954, the Flight 441 transport aircraft took off from the Patuxent River Naval Air Station, heading toward the Azores, Portugal. There were 42 people on board. The last recorded signal came at 11:30 a.m., a perfectly normal transmission reporting the plane's current position. At that time, Flight 441 was about 600 kilometers from the coast. But right after that, the aircraft completely vanished. No debris, no distress call, no explanation. The disappearance of Flight 441 became one of the greatest mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle. Another equally mysterious case was the disappearance of the Star Ariel, a passenger plane operated by British South American Airways. On the 17th of January 1949, the aircraft departed Kindley Field Airport in Bermuda for Kingston, Jamaica. Weather conditions that day were reported to be clear. Good visibility, nothing unusual. But shortly after sending a brief radio transmission, Star Ariel completely vanished from the sky. No one saw it fall, no one heard a distress call, and no wreckage has ever been found in over 70 years. All 7 crew members and 10 passengers disappeared forever. All of these incidents lead to one major question. What is really happening in the waters of the Bermuda Triangle? Could the area be affected by some form of unknown energy or extraterrestrial presence? Could it be a gateway used by beings from other worlds to enter and leave our planet? Or perhaps another possibility, that the Bermuda Triangle is a natural portal connecting different space-time dimensions, like the tunnel pilot Bruce Gernon described when he survived flying through it. To this day, there is still no official or unified explanation for the mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle. No single theory can fully account for all the disappearances, whether of military planes, civilian aircraft, merchant ships, or naval vessels. It's as if they were erased from existence. And perhaps, until humanity understands more about space, quantum physics, or civilizations beyond Earth, the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle will continue to remain one of the world's greatest unanswered questions. If these stories make you question the world you live in, if you believe that Earth still holds secrets yet to be uncovered, then our journey has only just begun. Thank you for watching until the end of the video. I'm Tom, and this is UFO Mysteries. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the next episodes where we continue exploring the mysteries that science still cannot explain.